خلال معرض أبوظبي الدولي للكتاب 2016 التقى 24 بخبراء ومتخصصين بعالم كتب وقصص الأطفال، وبالأخص من إيطاليا المختارة كضيف شرف هذا العام، إذ شارك في أعمال هذه الدورة عدد من أهم الوجوه الإيطالية التي اشتهرت بقصص الأطفال وحققت نسبة مبيعات كبيرة في هذا المجال. وكانت فرصة لسؤالهم كيف يمكن للكتاب صرف الأطفال عن العنف عموماً والذي تحمله معظم ألعاب الفيديو اليوم، وما هو شكل ومضمون الكتاب القادر على مواجهة التحدي والقادر على تشجيع قيم التعايش ومواجهة التطرف والعنف.
Children books must be a world to discover. So it's true that now life is hard for children too, and let's say that reading a book brings you somewhere else. So in this moment, for sure, when you have a book which brings your brain somewhere else, you can discover new words and friends and information which can bring you and avoid remembering violence in that moment when you read it. The video game is very interactive, and while a book is more a relationship with something in paper and you have to touch it, but it's true that you have to suggest and to try to give books to children instead of video games. So in this way you just help them in getting in touch more with books rather than with video games. A story has to capture your attention from the beginning till the end. This is the secret. And the ingredients must be a good character, fashionable, so with a lot of qualities, positive qualities, and a character which has to be colorful and happy, and probably this can attract you more than another one. So we have a box. It's written by Chiara Savino and is about 10 artists. So in a box you find some dépliants, something you can open, and you play with these papers. You can cut, you can color, and for each master of art, for example Leonardo or Klimt or Monet, you learn one specific thing. For example, for Caravaggio you just build your own box and you put the light, and then you learn how Caravaggio painted the light, or Klimt the line, or Monet the color. So it's very interactive and a game.
I think the proper way to face violence is in two ways. Giving to the children good stories, first of all, but second of all, help them to act them. I explain it shortly. We have a project called Book Sound, Book Raises Voices, in which some people who can read loud very expertly go to children of a school of 100 different schools in Italy, but we choose also classes where are young children or young adults which have problems. They have to do with violence. What can you do in this case? You involve them as little actors to play little little parties where they read out loud as actors. The second step of this process is going out of the school and to read loud to other peoples, young peoples, or maybe in hospitals or in hostels or in libraries. So about 1,500 children were involved in this experiment reading out loud, and even children who has problems and faces situations with violence, they were totally captured by the project, and they went also in the radio. In Rome, there is a writer, a prominent writer called Luisa Mattia, who worked with the young guys, and he discovered reading, the power of books, the power of acting for other people so deeply that then he also go to the radio at the national program in order to tell this story. I think this is fantastic, because at the beginning he wanted to do at all with this project. At the end, he was a fan. a like of testimonial. I think the first thing children feel is sincerity. They have, how to say, a smell. They smell where something is true or not true. They want the truth and absolutely need the truth.
Ultimately remember the most emotional parts of life. And I think that if violence is used in a silly way that's not very important and isn't very emotionally powerful, that violence probably doesn't have that much of an impact on kids. But if violence is the main motivation or the main reason that major changes are happening in the story, and there's a moral of the story of use violence to achieve this, then that's probably going to have a bigger impact on kids. And so video games and stories that allow children to have power, that's what they love so much, you know? And I think, unfortunately, some of the things that we use for power are violence, right? But really, violence is just a method of having power as one person over another person, right? And so I think what they're attracted to more is the power rather than the violence itself. And I think if we allow kids to maybe experience things from that kind of power side, or be in charge, or get on the playground and be in controlled and have that freedom that maybe they don't experience all the time because they have very powerful, controlling structures around them, like school and parents, it's going to be a good escape for them, and that's what they really need, rather than the violence in stories being attractive. I think the underlying mechanic below it is just that they want to experience what it's like to be in control.
I think that reading is very important for children, and in that respect our catalog is focused on children from to make them read from a very early from a very when they are very small, because we think it's important that they get books physically. They are used, children nowadays, to have video games, to have iPad, to play with their parents' iPhones, but we see that the children, in spite of many apps available also, they like the book, the paper book, and we think this is important because it starts creating a relation between an early reader and an object, which is a paper book. And in order to make them feel comfortable, we work a lot on the concept of book for children. In terms of format, we created, for example, a series of books for small children with based on a concept really thought for small children, to help them using them and feel and touch. So to help to them with their senses to play with the book, not just as a simple object to read, but also an object that they can touch and feel, which is what they need. And on the other side, when they grow up, it's very important also to find that they may find in books beautiful illustrations. We work a lot with some fantastic Italian illustrators, because we think that when you look at beautiful illustrations, both adults and children really feel that they can find in a book something new, a fantastic world that opens to them and brings them into a world of reading that is also very, very nice. So we try to make our books to make books for children that make them feel comfortable in this fantastic realm of reading, and we think this is the best way to be able to counteract the wide range of video games and all these games that take away the attention of children from reading. Full illustration, very good contents, so text should be very well balanced with illustrations, and I think it's important to be able to convey, of course, the content of a book also to a beautiful cover, because that's the first feeling. When we look at books, there are so many, but we get attracted by some book because there is something that inspires us. So it's very important. The cover communicates you something immediately. And then when you open it, it's nice. It's like a surprise. You start looking at pages, and I think it's important that you work a lot on the layout of a book, and especially you have to keep to pace with what is happening around.
In our opinion, we do develop the two product lines. One for the youngest children, that is focused in animals and dinosaurs, for example, and something to drawings, but most of all animals, farm animals, and something like that. The other line is for older children, that is from 6, 7 to 12, that is much more technical. It's called sassy science, and is about geography, is about technical matters such as airplanes, spaceships, or geography, or anatomy, the human body, because we think that from 7 to 10, 12, they are much more interested in how we are made of, and for technicians, mechanical instruments and so on. So how can you use books to reduce the impact of violence? Through a message of peace, of serenity, through a message about animals, about humans who play together, of different cultures, with books of foreign languages, who can improve learning foreign languages and understand that we are all the same, rather than we came from Russia or Emirates or Italy. We do all love animals or things like that.